What's good? What's good? What's good? Hope everybody had a good week. We in here. Yeah. Got my man in here tonight. Coming through. Yes, sir. Wait for a few of y'all to get in here. Then we'll bring him in. Hope everybody got some new toys this week. Hope everybody had a good work week. It's almost the weekend. Easter weekend. Hope Crumpy had a good week. Hope he got some secret information for us tonight. Yes, a lot been going on. I saw something right before I went live about 3 states that did something. I'm not sure what happened, but I haven't got a chance to look at it yet. But hopefully there's some good news in the two-way community. Hope y'all got y'all questions ready. Hope y'all ready for the night. See who pop in here first. I see people starting to file in, but I don't know who all's in here just yet. Nobody's hitting the comments yet. I'm not gonna bring him in until we get some people in here. I'm not gonna do it. I got some people's stuff getting ready to ship out. I see Coy popping in here. Jason Ewing. That means Shanna is somewhere close by. If there's one Ewing, there's another one close by. Much love to you too, Chase. Much love to you too. Oh, there she is. I told you. If you see one, the other one's close by. Yeah, man. Coy, what you got new? What you got new? I know you done picked up something. I'm looking forward to meeting Jason and Shanna in Georgia. We got to get John Crumpy down there. We got to get John Crump in Georgia, y'all. We got to get him to Georgia. He got to come to a regular meetup. See how we do it in Georgia. Get to be in good company. It's going to be like The Gathering, the Gundys, and a rap concert all in one. It's great. It's great. It's great. Y'all like peas and carrots? Yeah, y'all definitely like peas and carrots, Jason. I don't care what live you in, what channel you on. If I see a Ewing pop up, I know the other one is close behind, somewhere close. Y'all probably sit on the couch right beside each other watching the live on separate phones. So you can just put it on the TV. Yeah, man. What's up, OG $2? I see you. Hope you bring some of that seasoning. I got three jars in there, man. I've been rotating them out on everything. I'm starting to run low. I need a re-up, man. I need some sauce too, man. I need some sauce. And no, I'm not trading you in Anubis for some sauce and seasoning. All right. I got some of my favorites in here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on in. So we can start this thing, because I don't know how long he can hang out with us. So let's go ahead and bring him on in so we can get this thing started. What's up, Crumpy?
Hey, how you doing? Just sharing out the link to all the different channels that I have and different places. How you doing? Dre?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I know you got like 50 channels.
Yeah. Like I gotta get down to Georgia, man.
Yeah, man. So like the meetup, man, every year is somewhere different. So the first year he had a regular meetup, we did it in Houston. And then last year was here in Nashville. And then this year is here in Georgia. Or not here, but down in Georgia. And man, it's getting bigger and bigger every year. So like last year we had it at Lenny McGill's farm here in Nashville. And we had the first regular gun tube awards. So this year it's in Georgia. And it's the Range Day, the regular gun tuber awards, and then Twister is doing the private concert.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
Yeah. So it's gonna be awesome, man. A regular gun guy, whose event it is, he is in Twister's gun camp. So Twister shows up and shows out. He shoots really well.
Nice.
Yeah. Very good shooter, very good. So we're gonna need you to come down there and hang out with us, man.
Dude, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, I can get you. I can get you in. I can get you a ticket.
When is it?
Huh?
When is it again?
It's Father's Day weekend, actually.
Yeah, I'm not down. Oh yeah, we talked about that. I told you my wife would kill me.
Yeah. It's Father's Day weekend. See, what you could do, you could come down Friday and Saturday and still be home by Sunday. So you can still make it.
We'll have to see about that. No, I think we're going to my Delaware house for Father's Day weekend.
Okay. You balling like that? You got multiple houses? You just be traveling around?
Well, I got a beach house that we go.
Okay.
I live in Virginia. Then during the summer, spend a lot of time in like Delaware.
Okay. Why Delaware, man, of all places?
It's really nice.
Really?
On the beach? Yeah.
There's beaches in Delaware?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. They have really nice beaches. They're clean. There's a lot to do.
Okay. So how'd you when you work for AmmoLand, so I guess you're remote. You don't have to report into an office or anything, right?
No. Yeah, I'm remote. AmmoLand has places in Virginia, not Virginia, sorry, like Florida, like Colorado, and New Jersey, but most of the writers write remotely because we cover different parts of the country.
Gotcha. And how long you been with them?
Since about 2017.
Okay.
They're like a family. They really are. I've had offers to go to other places like mainstream outlets, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're comfortable, like that's like me, man. I've had offers to do some other stuff too, but I'm happy where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like family, so what I'm gonna leave for?
Yeah, I mean they let me write like what I want to write on with minimum like oversight. So they've never said, "Hey, we're going to kill this story because it's not favorable to one of our advertisers."
Okay.
And some of the reporting I've done that showed. I'm sorry, I'm drinking caffeine. My kid's been up sick, so.
Oh, you good.
You're working on a story. So, like some of the stories I've done that showed some of the kind of sketchy things that, like certain gun companies have done, they've actually reported on it, even though they were threatened or even lost advertisers over it because that they want to be a news reporting organization first before they're anything else. And I'm not beholden to the industry at all.
Gotcha. So you don't like. I've read a lot of your stories, and I see a lot of your stories. And you're like the two-way news plug. You like the plug, like the connect. So a lot of these guys, when they do reports, they're like, "Oh yeah, I got this from my man Crump." You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're the plug. So does that affect you, like when you interact with certain people in different avenues? Like if you ever talk to certain politicians or anything like that, if you reported on something they did or said or anything like that, do they come at you sideways?
Yeah, sometimes, but it is what it is. If you do something bad, I'm going to come after you. You have two different things. You have access based, and you have confrontational based ways of dealing with stuff. Access based is like, well, okay, I'm gonna, for example, let's bring it to GOA and NRA, for example. Trump, right? Done a lot of anti 2A stuff, but he's speaking at the NRA convention this year because they won't call him on it.
Interesting.
and like GOA will send out an email. It's not one. So basically, there's two different ways of looking at it, and I work with GOA, so of course I fall into the GOA camp, but I'm more of a GOA style reporter, which means that, I mean, if you do something sketchy or you do something that's going to hurt the American gun owner, I'm not going to cover for you.
Right, right.
I'm going to report on it, even if you like my friend. But if you're doing something against the American gun owner and the American gun owner shouldn't know about it, that's why I got, like, for example, the whole pistol brace thing when the new rule was coming down before anyone knew about it, and I got word of it. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad." Like, just so you guys know, they're coming after pistol braces, and that
And they
hurt
did.
for a friend's company, and that friend has not talked to me since that day. But I'm like, hey, I got to be looking out for. I'm not there for the industry. I'm there for the American gun owner.
Right, right. And that's what I feel like a lot of people in the firearm industry, especially the bigger companies, when stuff like that happens, they don't do anything to help us fight it.
Yeah.
They just kind of step back and just let everybody else do all the work. And then when Jared from Guns and Gadgets called out all the bigger companies, then they all start stepping up. But in the beginning, they were just going to let it ride out because either way it went, they were still going to sell their products regardless, with or without them.
Yeah, well, they were selling. They were trying to move them because they knew what was coming down. They had a little heads up.
Okay, so they already knew what was coming. They just chose not to say nothing so they could keep selling product and making money.
Yeah, then when I found out, I was like, I'm putting this out tomorrow.
Now, I know you find out a lot of stuff. Do you get a lot of your information through GOA since you're working for them, or you just got?
I do get a lot of information out from GOA. The GOA has some really good lawyers, so they help me do a lot of FOIAs and stuff like that, or threaten to sue when my FOIAs don't go answered. So I will say that's a good thing for GOA, but GOA and my reporting is totally separate. When they line up, which is quite often. Like I'm like, hey, I'm getting a inkling this is going on, and I need to share this out there. And so what happens is a lot of people. What am I trying to say? So a lot of times it lines up with what they have to do. So they will say, "All right, well, we're going to throw some money behind it. We're going to get our lawyers to draft up like lawsuits against the ETF to turn over information to you because they want it out there." So, so that's how a lot of our information comes out of there. GOA has awesome like intel gathering side, which I'm part of. But most of my information comes from just concerned people that are uh like like little minions in the cogs, they're little cogs in the wheel. And they're not really anti-gun or anything like that, but they're like, hey, I work for this government agency and they're planning on doing this anti-gun thing. Here's the documents. So I go and I confirm it, and bam.
There it is.
There it is. Release all the documents. I think the funniest thing was when the Biden transition team had a meeting with Marvin Richardson, who was the the acting assistant head of the ATF, and Regina Lombardo, who was the head of the ATF, and they were talking about like their goals and everything else. And I had an article I wrote up and I put it on AmmoLand about their goals and everything. And I put a picture from inside the meeting, and that went live before they got out of the meeting. And I tweeted at them. So when they got out of the meeting,
oh, they were trying to figure out how that happened.
Updating it at real time, like editing it. I had my editors going in there working on it too. So we were doing it real time. So the second the meeting was when they were saying, they're like, all right, thank you guys, blah blah blah.
It was already out
published.
there. So like, so you're with AmmoLand, you're writing for them, and you're working with GOA. What is your exact position with GOA?
I do special projects, which is kind of a unique position where I like kind of float around. I'll work with the legal team on legal cases, doing a lot of research or getting information about like legal stuff. And then I also work or just connecting people too. And then I work with the lobbyist up on Capitol Hill.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll explain some stuff. Sometimes I'll get them information that they need from inside the ATF, or
Okay.
just getting stuff that they don't have the ability to or can't for whatever reason.
Yeah, you kind of. If I met you somewhere like when we met in South Carolina, for example, just talking to you and hanging out with you, you never know that. Hey, this guy's the plug. If you
Yeah.
want to know something, he got you. He got you. Because you just real laid back, real chill. You kind of just sit back in the cut. So it's like you just kind of sit back and watch.
Yeah, I mean, I come from the intel field a little bit, so I've done IT. I've done specifically intelligence IT stuff. So that's the way the intel world works. I mean, those are the people that actually get the intel.
Yeah, yeah. So how'd you hook up? How'd you end up linking up with like Jared and all them just through different events or just through a story that broke and y'all kind of got together and networked on that one story and then just kind of went from there, grew from there?
No, not really. I would have to say that everyone was using my writing, because I'm a writer first before a YouTuber, using my writing for their YouTube videos. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Hank Strange started bringing me on his podcast, reached out, said, "Hey, you want to come on a podcast?" So he started bringing me on his podcast and everything else. And then these guys, I guess they figured that, they could actually reach out to me directly.
Gotcha.
So I blame Hank Strange for everything. Although Jared is a unique story. Jared and I have a friend in common.
Okay. Okay.
Not like a YouTube friend, like a friend.
I got you. I got you.
One of the cops that he used to, when Jared was a cop, one of his cop buddies is a buddy of mine.
Okay. Got you. He's here now in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he moved away from the tyrants and moved down here to Tennessee where he got some freedom. We can do whatever we want to down here. It's lovely.
That's nice. Johnson City's like becoming a YouTuber hub.
Yeah. There's a lot of YouTubers here. A lot on the car side, the gun side, just in general. There's a lot of content creators here in this area.
Yeah, there's a few out here where I live at. There's like me. There's a Dark from DLD After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Jay the Shooter.
Yeah, that's my guy.
He lives about 5 minutes away from me.
Yeah, Jay's the reason I got my FFL. I went through FFL Elite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Mr.
here we got Hickok 45, Jared now, Hootie Hoo. I'm Not From This Planet. What's that guy's? 12 Spies. He's here. There's several here. What's that little crazy kid's name that does the car stuff? He started out doing a little bit of gun stuff, and then he does our car stuff now. Whistling Diesel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he lives here.
Then I guess Heavy D Sparks is down there too. Then
no, Heavy D's not here.
Oh, I thought he was. He's always doing stuff with Whistling Diesel.
Yeah, Whistling Diesel. I think the one time Heavy D flew, he went to pick up a helicopter or something.
Yeah, a
He
Black
was flying
Hawk.
it back home. Yeah, the Black Hawk, and he flew the Black Hawk here and visited him. And then I think the other times that they've hooked up, Wilson Diesel actually went out there to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just did a video together not too long ago, like last week, where he tore up a G-Wagon trying to climb up some rocks and stuff.
Yeah, they've done some crazy stuff.
Yeah. So what's the wildest story that you've had to break, or that you actually didn't break? Some you didn't actually put out
Uh there's been so many
there.
like crazy stories. Let me think. I got to think about that for a second here. There's been crazy stories. The whole pistol brace thing was one of them when that was coming out. Uh, that was pretty big.
Where do you see
Also,
that?
what's that?
Where do you see that going? That pistol price? You think it's going to get overturned?
I think it's going to return. I'm not sure if it's going to be a quick process or not.
Yeah, I think it's going to get overturned.
Yeah, I hope it does.
I mean, the bump stock thing, it took a while to do it, but it got done once that Bruin decision came down. And I think with that one, with the Bruin decision and that, I think that's what's going to be the stepping stone to get it overturned.
Yeah. I know what it is. The Glock carbine. Just because how we found that out.
Yeah, how did you find out about that anyway? Because that guy's picture, or you knew about it before that, right?
Yeah. I that was the dude had the picture before I did. Actually, Sirius Firearms was the first like American that the guy reached out to with the pictures of the Glocks. The I have John Crump Live, which is one of my other channels. We do a live show, and we
Right.
do something called the Turkish drinking game. What it is, we look through all the imports of all the guns coming into the country,
Mm-hmm.
and some of we do it through FOIAs. We get I FOIA the information. I get the FOIAs of all the imports and everything.
Gotcha.
So, Flying Rich, who's my co-host on my show, and we were scrolling through. We were like, Glock, oh, are they coming out? Are they importing, like, whatever, like, or more G19s, whatever? And all of a sudden, it was like Glock carbine parts, Glock carbine barrels, Glock carbine this. And I'm like, they're importing Glock carbine parts. Well, I guess Glock's coming out with the carbine.
So I know the pictures were real. That was a real gun they submitted or whatever for that military trial or whatever. Do you think they're actually going to bring it to the public?
I see pictures of yeah, the ones that are bringing it to the public. So yeah.
Oh, so you've already seen the one they're bringing to the public?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not only are they going to bring them, they have quite a bit of them already built and produced.
Oh, really?
They're U.S. made gun.
Oh, they're made here?
Mm-hmm. The parts aren't all U.S. based, but the receiver definitely is.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. That gun's gonna sell like crazy, man. Just because it's a Glock and everybody's been wanting a Glock carbine for decades, it's gonna sell. It's gonna be an instant moneymaker. I've got a no. Let me stop. I'm gonna say something. I got something on the way, but yeah, I want one of those. I actually want one of those carbines though.
Yeah, if I'm looking at everything, it looks like it's just like a standard AR.
Well, from what I've heard, internally it's different. The way it operates is a little different. So that's why I'm interested in checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, well, one of the cool things is it's like fully ambidextrous. So
yeah, that'd be nice. Let me highlight some of these people that's coming in right quick. We got Charles Henry in here, Joseph Harris, TK. TK, you see your stuff back there, yeah. TK in here, Jason Ewan, I already talked to you. Scott, Depugnificent.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming through. Vanessa Kitty, yeah, I've seen you in Hank's chat a few times. Who else is in here? Tap in, my guy, what's up? Tech Money, what's good? Charles Henry, what's happening? What's happening? Welcome, everybody.
And there's DB Cooper out there too.
Yeah, DB Cooper. That name sounds familiar. Why does that sound so familiar?
Probably because there was a famous skyjacker named DB Cooper.
Yes.
But yeah, from my community.
Gotcha. Christine White, I see you, Christine. So a lot of people in here, I know them personally pretty much. I've met pretty much all of them except for a couple on my side. All from the meetup, man. Yeah, just tell your wife, say, look, I gotta go over here for like a day, then I'll come back.
We're gonna have to see. I'm only married to a pure-blooded Sicilian, so.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like an American of Sicilian descent. I'm talking about like an
100%.
Italian citizen Sicilian. So yeah.
So what does she think about you and all your gun news and stuff like that? Have you ever worried about somebody making a threat on your life or anything like that because of stuff you report?
Not that she said. The only credible death threat that I had was from a religious nut who wanted me to join his militia. Because he's appearing, because they're building a militia for the apocalypse.
And so you didn't want to join, so you got mad? Is that how that went?
Well, no, he wanted to fight back. I mean, this dude was like, he was like a Christian nationalist cult. I don't remember calling him a Christian nationalist. He was like, he ran a cult.
Okay. So he was like David Koresh.
More than that. I mean, this guy was like nuts. And he's like, you need to come join my cult. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to, but thanks anyway.
So I've never seen you really do like gun reviews or anything like that. As far as like, I don't think I've ever seen you really do it like a straight gun review.
I used to do a lot more, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Gun reviews are fun, and I like doing gun reviews, but I think my talents are more useful on actually shining a light on the ETF.
Yeah.
And like the anti-gun side of things.
Do they ever harass you because of the stuff you put out there? They ever bother you?
No, not really. Mostly because I bother them. I seek them out. Yeah, I went to a gun show and they had an ATF booth there. And I went up there and started talking to them, and they were talking to me. And eventually they said, "Oh, by the way, what's your name?" I was like, "John Crump." And then they said, we're not allowed to talk to you. You have to contact the director of our press office director. And then they left the booth. I'll have to find it, but I got a picture of me holding a Polymer 80 because this is before the ban, in the ATF booth because they left. So I was like, I'm going to take pictures with a Polymer 80.
I've got a GOA patch. It's right here on this patch board. It's right there. It says "Save a Pup of Violence to ATF."
Yeah,
it's a GOA patch. I got it in South Carolina. I was like, I got to put that up there. You know, Cairo, he'll love that. He'll respect it.
Yeah, those things go quite quick. Those patches, every time we bring them out wherever, they go. People grab them. People love them.
Yeah, man, it's an attention getter. People come over here and they see it and they go crazy over that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had
man.
that, and we had the magnets of that.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I got one of those too. I gave it to my lady. How you doing, Rhino73? So what's going on? What kind of stuff is brewing right now that we don't know about? Is there anything out there that we don't know about yet?
I was researching the case, but I had like a story, but not all is what it seemed. It kind of fell apart like right before it came on.
Got
Because
you.
sometimes people will tell you some stuff and they leave out certain parts,
Got you. Got
but
you.
you got to verify and you figure everything out. Then there's more stuff behind the scenes, so they weren't exactly honest with me. So that fell apart. The Matt Hoover trial starts on Monday
Okay. Okay.
with CRS Firearms, the
Yeah.
auto key card thing. So
Yeah.
that is coming out. There's a couple big stories that I'm going to be dropping, but um they're not ready for prime time yet.
Got you. Got you.
But probably in the next few days, they're going to be kind of one's definitely going to be big.
So do you think Matt Hoover's gonna walk on that case? Or you think he's gonna do some time?
I hope he walks. I mean, he got busted for advertising something that was he was told by the ETF was legal.
Wow.
Um, but so I hope he walks. But the thing is, I like never ever. If anything can happen in court cases, anyone that tells you they know what's going to happen in a court case don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
I hope he walks because Matt's a good friend of mine.
Right.
He's like a really good friend of mine, and he's one of the nicest people I know.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, man.
Oh, he's
And
incredibly
that
nice.
whole keyboard thing, like, it seemed like that whole thing was just a jacked up situation.
I think that they were trying to get him to flip. I mean, this is nothing that he's told me or anything like that. This is just what I think. I think they were trying to get him to flip on Justin Irvin, the guy that actually owned the company.
Right.
But Matt refused to throw someone else under the bus so he could walk.
Yeah, I saw the video that he did when he was talking about the whole situation when the ATF came and got him.
Yeah.
And he was crying and stuff, man. He broke down on that one. And I was just listening to the situation. I was like, damn, man, this it's like the way he was breaking it down, it kind of was playing in my head like a movie scene or something. And I was like,
Yeah.
all this over this key card thing that he didn't even own, he didn't make nothing. He was just advertising, promoting it.
And the crazy thing is, he called the ATF, and the ATF told him that it was okay.
Couldn't they say that was entrapment? Because it's like, all right, you told him it was okay, and then he did it, and then you arrested him. Wouldn't that be entrapment? That's kind of like,
Yeah.
you're undercover and somebody asks you if you're a cop. People say you're supposed to tell them you're a cop, but if you
Oh,
don't, and you arrest them. I mean,
that's urban legend. They can lie to you.
that's crazy, man.
I mean, they can definitely lie to you. But yeah, it's not it's not a cool situation. I feel for him. I feel for his kids. I
Yeah,
feel for his wife. Um, they're insanely nice people.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, he's gotten this. His situation's been going on for what, 3-4 years now?
No, it's been going on for Justin's. Justin's the guy that owns the auto key card auto key card. I'm not sure if I'm not allowed to say the end part of it, but the guy that owned the company, um, his situation's been going on for 3 or 4 years.
Okay, okay.
and they've questioned Matt. They actually called Matt down to the grand jury and stuff like that, and his wife down to the grand jury, where they refused to say that the guy said this is a machine gun or this is used to convert something into a machine gun, because they're like, he didn't say that. So the process is the punishment. So even if he does win, I mean, just like 2 years of his life, just. And look at the other guy, Justin. Matt at least got released,
Yeah.
on his own recognizance, and he didn't have to spend months and months in jail. Justin Irvin has been in jail for like 3 years or waiting trial because they keep on doing superseding indictments, which resets the clock every single time. They've done
Oh,
4 of
wow.
them. So, what happened to right to a speedy trial? They're like, well, we dropped that and we charged him with the other charge. So the clock starts again, which is BS. So he's been waiting for trial for like 3 years.
I never even heard of the key card until that whole situation started. And I was like, what the hell is it? and so I had never even heard of it.
The thing is, it's not even to the correct dimensions. It's like 75, I mean, like 25% larger than what it needs to be. So
So it's
even if
supposed
you cut it out right on the lines, it's not going to work.
Oh, wow. So it's not even functional. It was
No.
basically like a keychain or something.
It's just it's just ridiculous.
Somebody asked, what's our thoughts on the 3 Democrats getting voted out of the Tennessee House? When I was eating dinner earlier at the restaurant, they had that up on the TV playing, but they had the sound off, so I couldn't hear what they were saying. And that's the only thing that I've seen or heard about it. I stay in my own little bubble.
Because that's because of the shooting that happened down in Nashville. The 3 Democrats basically let the protesters in to occupy the Capitol, take over the Capitol.
Oh,
The Capitol.
got you. See, I stay in my own little bubble, man. And I don't even watch like regular mainstream news. I don't even watch it. I don't even watch it. If something pops up on YouTube that catches my attention, then I'll go and research it and check it out. Other than that, I don't even watch the regular news.
Unfortunately, I kind of have to.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's your job. You have to.
Yeah,
But I don't
I
have to,
don't.
so I don't. The news, it makes me mad most of the time, man. I get tired of seeing people going out here killing babies, and then the tool they use to do it is what they focus on, and all they want to deal with. They don't want to actually deal with the actual root cause of the problem, which is the individual with the evil ass heart and the mental issues. They don't want to deal with that shit. They just want to ban this, and it gets on my nerves. So I get tired of watching it.
Yeah, I don't think it's about them wanting to prevent like mass shootings or anything. I believe that it's their fundamental hatred for the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And they're going to use anything possible to attack the Second Amendment and gun rights, because the gun rights and the Second Amendment are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Like you have like an inalienable right. Sorry, trying to avoid getting fired up. But you have an inalienable right to bear arms, and the Second Amendment, the whole entire Bill of Rights, is a document of negative liberties. And what I mean by that is it puts a limit on the federal government. It's not a limit on you or I. Those rights aren't granted by the Constitution. The Constitution affirms our rights and tells the federal government not to mess with those rights because they have no right to do it. It's it's a federal government acknowledging our rights and
Right.
saying that we will not violate these rights.
For me, God gave me my right to defend myself when He created me. You know what I'm saying? He gave us all living creatures the ability to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? He gave us he made that an inherited right for us. Like we were born able to protect. Well, physically we couldn't do it, but we have that ability. It's inbred in us. When you look at the Second Amendment, yeah, it's just telling the government piss off. You can't stop them from being able to defend themselves. But at the same time, people these days don't respect any of the Constitution, and they'll
No,
do
they don't.
anything they can to get around the Constitution. There's only people. I feel like the people that are from our generation and older are the only ones that respect the Constitution. I don't think
Yeah.
the newer generations respect it at all.
Yeah, and it's not only just the First Amendment, it's more than that, and I think it's deeper than that. I think a lot of people from the generations of our generation and before, they don't respect the Constitution either. You look at the Twitter files where the government was actively contacting Twitter saying, "Censor this or censor that." Or if you look at stuff like civil forfeiture, which is incredibly evil, which most people haven't even heard of civil forfeiture. If you don't know what that is, that means the government can charge your money or your property with a crime because your money and your property does not have a presumption of innocence. So therefore, they can say, "Oh, we caught you with $25,000. So therefore, we're going to charge you $25,000 with a criminal act." We're not going to even specify what criminal act. We're just going to say create a criminal act. And if you want that money back, you're going to have to prove that that wasn't. It's so. I think that's a huge violation of the Constitution. The right to speedy trials, another violation of the Constitution. You know, right against self-incrimination, right against unlawful search or seizures. That's all violation. Look at like New York City, for example, with the stop and frisk. You know, that's definitely unlawful search and seizures there.
Yeah, New York is a violation of the Constitution. Just being there,
That's true.
them and California. And I look at how do we combat. So the first thing they do is they want to go to numbers, but the numbers they use are inflated numbers because they don't tell you how the numbers are broken down. And then they want to compare. Well, this state has the highest gun laws, the strictest gun laws, but they have less gun deaths than say Tennessee. But their state be like 3 times the size of Tennessee with 4 times the population. It's like you can't really use those numbers. They're out of whack. So how do we combat that? What do we need to do to combat that?
One of the things we need to do to combat that is understand their tricks and what they do. Like for example, when you're talking about like gun laws and like violent crime or whatever, you know, is to point out, well, they're using population density here, and not the actual crime. So they're inflating the numbers, or they're doing it on like a sliding scale. Or you say, well, let's compare all violent crime. Why just violent crime with guns? Or murders with everything, right? Let's compare murder rates. Let's take the tool out of it. Let's just compare murder rates totally. Or you do this. Ask them, because a lot of people will spew out some BS, and what you can do is just say, "Oh, interesting. What study is that from?"
Gotcha.
And a lot of times they'll say, "Well, I'm not going to tell you. You have to Google it yourself." And then you'd be like, "Oh, so you don't know, huh?"
Yeah, I feel like I work in a gun store. I manage a gun store. So people come in there every day with questions about firearms, about this pistol brace thing. I'm so tired of hearing about this pistol brace thing. It's getting on my nerves. But I hear about that a million times a day. People call and come in asking about it. People confused about the laws and what they can and can't do. And they've been in this state, and the laws in this state are completely different from Tennessee, and so it gets confusing. So a lot of stuff I hear people spew, especially if they're coming from the West or from like New York, or they're coming from like California, or they're coming from Chicago, place like that. You can tell everything they've ever heard was coming from a liberal point of view, and so they come into it with a hesitant reaction to guns, like they're interested and they want to do it, but they're scared. So it's like, how do we get the message out there that, hey, because they pretty much drowned out everything we got to say.
Well, you give examples too. For example, when people are like, "Oh, AR-15 should be banned because they kill so many people," and it's like, well, should we ban bed sheets? I mean, like, why would we ban bed sheets? You could be like, well, if you take all rifle deaths combined and compare them to the number of people who die by accidentally wrapping themselves up in bed sheets, you are twice there's twice as many people die from being wrapped up in bed sheets each year than are killed by rifles.
Yeah.
So you should know, because what they do is they try to make it so it seems worse that it is. I mean, school shootings are a horrible tragedy, but they are exceptionally rare. And then they're going to throw out statistics like there's 400 mass shootings that's to this point of this year. And a couple of years ago, I actually went through. It was like in February, and they're like, "There's been 300 mass shootings," and I looked through all those mass shootings, and it was a lot of work, but I put in the effort, and some of the stuff that I found was kind of interesting. Or school shootings. It was school shootings, not mass shootings. Some of the things I found was kind of interesting. One of the things that they did was, instead of doing like just a school, they did within a 2-mile radius of a school. They included suicides, accidental shootings, people cleaning their guns and shooting themselves in the legs or whatever. Even if you're 2 miles away from school and you accidentally shoot yourself in the leg while cleaning your gun because you didn't clear it, well, hey, guess what? It was a mass. It was a not mass, a school shooting. And then, like, there was like a gang fired guns at each other within a mile of a school. That was a school shooting. The most egregious one that I found was within a mile of a school. These kids were playing airsoft, and somebody said, "Oh, there's kids with guns shooting at each other." Cops rolled up. "Oh, the airsoft. You guys knock it off." Left. There's a police report filed. You know what airsoft are? The little rubber BBs, right?
Right.
They ruled that as a school shooting, even though it was kids playing in the park with the airsoft guns.
So when you look at stuff like that, and then you think about, so the kid who, it was a few weeks ago, the kid, he was what, 16, that went in and shot somebody at the school or something, and then disappeared. They couldn't find him. He was driving a little red SUV looking thing.
Yeah.
So they say stronger gun laws help prevent these school shootings and all these mass shootings and stuff like that. What gun laws would have prevented that?
None.
None of them. So
None.
I don't understand why it's so hard for people to make that connection, that they're feeding you some BS. What gun laws are going to stop that? The girl that just shot up the school here in Nashville, They said she legally purchased her gun, but she had been adjudicated mentally defective and put on a mandatory 72-hour hold. So
Yeah,
did
I mean, she
she
shouldn't. But
legally?
yeah, that shows you not only that gun laws don't work, but background checks doesn't work because then stop her, right? It, it's like this. It's like saying, hey, if you're gonna take this medicine, it's gonna prevent you from being sick. And then you get sick anyway, and people still get sick anyway. So they tell you, well, just take some more of this medicine, and this time it will work. And then people get sick anyway, and then they say, well, just take it again.
It sounds like that big poke that was passing around.
I don't know, maybe.
So, do you think that was just a way to see if they can control people by fear?
No, I don't know what that is. I think that was a lot of cover ups. Um, because I got. Let me just say, put this way. I got a strike on my channel for disinformation because I was like, I think it might have been a lab leak. And
Honest, said that someone told her you need to do mental health checks every time you buy a gun. That's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. It's unrealistic, and there is too much of a chance of it being abused.
Right. So when you're doing your research and you're doing everything, I know you probably get some information from GOA and stuff like that. How long is it usually before you drop the story? I know sometimes it's like overnight, but like on average, how long does it usually take you to get it?
There's not a set time. Like the story that I'm going to break in probably in the next weekish or so. I've been working on since like September.
Okay. Okay.
So there's not a like a specific amount of time. Sometimes it can be really fast. Sometimes if I get all the documents, I can verify them and the fast moving story. Then yeah,
Okay. Okay.
like the Michael Cargill case with the government, up, you know, filing for a writ certiorari with the Supreme Court, and asking for a stay on the bump stock ban, on the bump stock non-ban, I guess, the overturning of the ban in the fifth. I got that the day before,
Okay.
from Michael Cargill. I'll say
So,
it.
it's funny because I don't think a lot of people realize. I didn't realize it until we were talking at the gathering. That the guy that actually brought that case about was a black guy.
He's a gay black guy.
I didn't know that.
Well, you look at it this way. The black community has done a lot for gun rights, which, most gun control started out during the Jim Crow era as a way of keeping formerly enslaved blacks of getting firearms. And so it's kind of poetic that most of the pro gun cases that have really moved the needle, well, a lot of the pro gun cases that really moved the needle have been black plaintiffs. The Cargill case is a good example. McDonald uh, uh, versus Chicago, another good example. One of the biggest two-way cases there is you have Rhonda Ezel, where they said, you can't ban shooting ranges because that bans because that they're protected via the Second Amendment. She is a black woman living in Chicago. I mean, so the black community has given a lot to gun rights.
Yeah, and it just kind of gets overlooked a lot of the time because
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff out there that people kind of like push to the side, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're not going to talk about this," because, like I said, I did not know that guy was a gay black guy. At that, I didn't know it was a black guy. Period. Until we was in South Carolina.
he's a great guy.
Yeah, I had no clue. I would
Yeah,
like to talk to him.
I can arrange that.
Ah, okay. Well, let's make that happen. I'd like to talk to him, get him on the show. Bangers and bullets, my guy. This guy, man, he's amazing. He has a dope channel too. So
I'll have to
y'all
check
go
it
check
out.
him out. If you haven't checked out Bangers and Bullets, go check him out, man. The brother's got a dope channel.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
Nightbot's been taking the night off the last couple of shows. So one of my mods, if you could, drop my brother's channel in the chat so everybody can go subscribe to him.
Yeah, gun rights are human rights. That's why it affects everyone. That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, even though the Second Amendment is there, and like you said, a lot of stuff was put in place to keep us from being able to have firearms and to protect so that other people could protect themselves from us. I'm glad that we are able to exercise our Second Amendment rights now, but at the same time, it's still more dangerous for us.
Which should have been the case 100%. All the 100% should have been the case since the very beginning. It wasn't, but the United States, the promise of the United States is not where we're at now. The promise of the United States is a goal that probably will never be reached, but should be strived for.
Right. Yeah, I think sometimes I feel like we're regressing as a country, and sometimes I feel like we're regressing as far as humanity goes, because it seems like what they say, history repeats itself.
Yeah, history repeats itself unless you learn the lessons of history. Yeah. But also, they want you to think that we're regressing because it's all about a system of control.
Right.
So if they can convince you that we're regressing, like gun rights, right? That you talk to most people, you think we're losing on gun rights. Where we're actually winning on gun rights in so many different ways. Yeah. If you look at like the late 90s, where the majority of states were shall issue or no issue. And now, if you look at it now, 26 states are permitless carry, right? The majority of states, you don't need a permit to even carry a gun anymore.
Right.
And like, late 90s, you couldn't have a magazine holding more than 10 rounds, and AR-15s, for the most part, were banned, and now they're totally okay. So we're winning. We're winning more than a lot of people would want us to think about, right?
I mean, yeah, we're definitely winning. I mean, think about it. During the Jim Crow era, I wouldn't be able to be an SOT and own machine guns. Now I'm an SOT and I have a machine gun.
Yeah, there you
go. So, I mean, it wouldn't have been possible during the Jim Crow era. But, I mean, at the same time, I feel like they're trying to take us back there, though. Mississippi, they have some Jim Crow laws that they're trying to put back on the books.
Yeah. And that we just have to fight back against that. The forces of anti-liberty and anti-freedom will not go quietly into the night. They're going to go kicking and screaming, but we're going to have to drag them kicking and screaming out of there. But I think that we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, look at what Bangers put on here.
Well,
He dropped the Bible verse, Luke
yeah.
22:36. Said, but now he said, take your money in a traveler's bag, and if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. And I hate when people say, well, when the Second Amendment was written, they were talking about muskets. It don't matter. It represents whatever the most popular firearm or weapon was at that time.
You know my answer to that is, what did they fight the Revolutionary War with?
Right.
The Founding Fathers, if you read the Federalist Papers or the writings of Madison, they wanted the citizenship to have the same firearms as the military. And it's amazing. I got into an argument on Twitter with someone. I said, well, I've read a lot of Madison, and Madison was pretty clear in his writings that he believed that the people should have the same firearms as the military. And the person actually said to me, well, that's one founding father. Well, why is his opinion more valuable than other people's? So he wrote the Second Amendment, so I'm pretty sure you got an idea what the hell he meant. He was the guy dude that wrote the Second Amendment, and they're telling me that, like what does he know what the writer of the Second Amendment meant? It's like, because he was the writer of the Second Amendment. Like, come on, dude. It's like,
I don't know what is so
research.
People want to interpret the Second Amendment and make all these weird assumptions. Well, they didn't mean this, they didn't mean that, they were talking about this. Yeah, whatever. Fact of the matter is, that very important part in there shall not be infringed. In the discussion. What we talking about?
How about the well-regulated militia? Well, let's go ahead and look at regulated, not regulated in modern terms, because regulated means something now that it didn't mean back then.
Yeah.
Regulated meant well equipped.
Regulated now means the government tells you what to do.
Well, yeah, because they took the word for equipped and they said, well, these are just well-equipped laws, regulations. So equipped, well-equipped, the right of the people. It's comma the right of the people. It is a second part of that phrase, comma right of the people. Two different things, right? And they're like, well, that comma's in there by accident.
It's not
one of the arguments, that comma's in there by accident. And I'm like, can you show me one other place in the Constitution where there's an extra comma somewhere? You can't. And then if you read the Federalist Papers, you read the writings of Madison or whatever, they're explicit as to what they meant in those writings.
Right. I think when Congress made laws and the Constitution was written, they were pretty positive and sure about what they were wanting. They weren't wanting you to, dissect it and reinterpret it later. They were pretty straightforward and direct in what they meant.
I mean,
what they said.
A big government tried to come in and disarm those guys, and and the way they responded tells me how they would think of our modern Second Amendment, what it actually means. When the redcoats came to Lexington and Concord and tried to pull off a gun confiscation, those guys shot them in the face. And you're telling me that those guys, like a year later, are going to be like, but not a year later, like 11 years later, or 12 years later, are going to be like, oh, well, now we believe that no one should have guns besides the military. It's the same dudes. That
I don't know, man. I feel like in say 20 years from now, it's gonna be real different out here on this whole two-way scene.
I mean, two-way is growing, and all I gotta say is, bacon.
No. Appreciate you coming through, Bacon.
Yeah,
Big E
bacon. Bacon is a great guy who
He
is
came.
also a black gun guy too.
Okay. So your brother out here. Okay. Now, does he have a channel?
Yes, the goddamn bacon. He does like live streams on like in the middle of the night on like Saturdays, I believe.
Okay.
And it's a really eclectic mix of people. It's just not like a gun channel.
Okay. So he's got a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah, it's a bunch of degenerates that do a live stream, and I say that in a loving way.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go ahead. I'm subscribed to him right now.
yeah, great
Subscribed
guy.
to him right now.
No, but what was I saying before Bacon so rudely interrupted me? Oh yeah, 20 years from now, I one of the biggest things for gun rights has been the big C word, COVID.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, why would I ever need a gun? The government's not going to turn tyrannical. There's not going to be massive civil unrest everywhere. And then the government turned tyrannical and there was a massive civil unrest. I actually ran into a guy that I used to, like during the whole COVID thing, that I used to be friends with. So anti-gun, used to always tell me, "Oh, why are you always worried about the government doing it? The government's not ever going to turn tyrannical." I'm like,
It's
well,
not
you
more
have a civil unrest. They're like, there's not going to be civil unrest. Come on. And then I ran into him at the range. I'm like, wait a minute, you hate guns. It was like a year since I've seen him, and he's like, yeah, I've been meaning to call you. He goes, I was so wrong about that.
Man, people have too much faith in government, and I wholeheartedly believe that you put too much faith in government.
Yeah,
and they need to stop that. I dropped Bacon's link and I dropped Banger's link.
yeah.
I got your links all in the description. Man, you got so many damn links, man.
Yeah, Hank Strange says that he called me a Jamaican. I had no idea what the hell that meant.
You don't know what that means?
I do now. He explained it to me. What do you mean I'm a Jamaican? I don't know if I should be insulted or or grateful. And he was like, no, it means a bunch of different things. Like, oh, okay.
So I've known him for a couple of years now, and the first like podcast, whatever that I ever did was Hank's, and that was when I first started this whole journey on coming out my own rifle line. And when I was on his channel, I had the original Anubis prototype. It was a 12.5. It was a 12.5 224 Valkyrie. And so I went on Hank's podcast, and I'm like, man, this brother's cool, man. He's super cool. And then so we started chopping it up, and we talked sometime on the phone and text and stuff like that. And I see him at like the gathering and stuff like that. And that dude, he's really down to earth, man. But when it comes to YouTube and people's podcasts and stuff, though, it's hard to get him to come over. I don't think I've been trying for like a year, and I don't think I've ever seen him on anybody else's lives or anything like that, or podcasts or anything.
He's been on mine a couple times.
Yeah, it's hard to get him to move. I'm like, man, come on, Hank.
Yeah, just he does his like Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. I can understand that. From 7 to 9, so it's kind of hard to carve out.
Right. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Good dude, man. If y'all ever get a chance to meet him, y'all on a trip. He likes to crack jokes. He loves cracking jokes. And
yeah, he has a great wife too.
Yeah. Lola's, man, she's dope. Super cool lady. Super cool. So I'm trying to figure out how he came up with this name, though. Goddamn bacon. So on your podcast, which one of your channels do you like? Do you really like get into the most? Because you got what, 3 channels?
Yeah, well, one channel I haven't really done much in. That's my like gaming channel. That's basically my son. It's more for my son than anything else. So my other 2 channels, John Crump Live is the one I really enjoy doing a lot with. I enjoy doing a lot with that. John Crump News is my biggest channel by far. And that's where I break a lot of news. I do my like daily 2A news videos. I'm going to be doing some like short form documentary stuff here in the coming future.
Okay.
That I'm working out right now. But yeah, that's the pre-recorded stuff, and John Crump Live is like all live stuff that I usually go live. This week's been there's been some stuff going on. Like my kid's been sick, so didn't do one today. And
speaking of nothing but lives, if y'all go to Bacon's channel and you subscribe and it says no content, click on live, and then he does nothing but lives.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. I've never went to somebody's channel and there's just nothing but lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, they I don't know, man. You got a lot of links. You got a lot of content. You're everywhere, man. You're all over the place. And I just recently got on what's it called? Rumble.
Yeah, I gotta work on that. My kid's gym teacher keeps on bugging me to get on Rumble.
The gym teacher?
Yeah. Yeah. There's 2 teachers at my kid's school that are like big fans.
So do you go out a lot and people recognize you and run up on you and stuff, or
not too much?
Not too much.
Not too much. If I go to like a gun show or sometimes at the range or whatever. I mean, every once in a while, somebody will like recognize me. But yeah.
So do you work a lot with what's his name, Jordan from GOA?
Oh yeah. Jordan's the guy that got me into GOA.
Okay. He'll be on here next week.
Oh, Jordan's gonna be on there?
Yeah, Steven.
Yeah. He's the guy that brought me into GOA. I used to do I still do. I wanted to do an interview with Eric Pratt, and I talked to Jordan to set that up. And then we just kept on talking and kept on keeping in contact. And he's like, your ideas and GOAs line up. I'll line up like exactly. I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, well, why don't you just come do some stuff for us? And I did. And that was back in 2018.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a while with them then.
Yeah. I'm on the East Coast, trying not to dox them. I'm in Ashburn, Virginia. And yes, I do have an OnlyFans. No, I don't have an OnlyFans.
My man said he thought the child support, IRS, ATF, or cartels got me. Cartels don't want that smoke. ATF, they just leave me alone because they know I'm a good boy. If I got questions, I ask. I don't just be out here rogue. IRS, I pay my taxes. Child support, I got one kid. She's 28. I ain't got to worry about that.
Hey, man, back in like 2010, my income tax return got held up for an unpaid child support. Now, the
What
2010,
now?
right? My income tax got held up for unpaid child support. They seized my income tax for unpaid child support. My oldest son is 9 right now.
Oh, okay.
My oldest son is 9, in fact, so basically that I had to get like a lawyer friend of mine to get that straightened out because they were not buying that I didn't have any kids.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait a minute. So your oldest son is 9.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, child support's it's tricky, man. So like the last year I was on child support, my daughter actually lived with me. But they wouldn't stop the child support. So I was having to pay my baby mama child support, even though my daughter lived with me.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. But it is what it is. It's over and done with now.
Yeah,
That's
that
why
happened to
I hope you got your money back though.
yeah, I finally got it. It took a couple years to get it though.
Oh, that's stupid, man. That is
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, they kept on telling me to go to the courts and get a letter saying that my child support was settled up. I'm like, what court am I supposed to go to? So then I went to the courts, called the courts, and they're like, "Oh, we can't really give you a letter because you don't owe any child support." Like, I know, I just need a letter saying I don't owe any child support. They're like, "But there's not even a case." I'm like, "I know," and they would do it. And then my friend who's a lawyer is like, "Look, let me just take care of it." And after like fighting for like a year, he called me back like 5 minutes later, and he's like, "Yeah, it's it's done." I'm like, "Really?" They're like, "Yeah, you're gonna get your money. They're gonna do a direct deposit." I was like, "Well, why couldn't I do it?" He's like, "Yeah, 'cause you're not a lawyer."
That's stupid to me. So I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know who the commanders are.
Oh, the Commanders, the Redskins,
The Redskins.
and they're now known as the Commanders.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're a Redskins fan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay,
Unfortunately,
okay. I don't keep up with them, so I forgot that they didn't have a name for a while.
yeah, they didn't have a name for a little while. Yeah, Dan Snyder is a evil owner who's
Got you,
about to sell the team.
got you, got you. So what do you got going on, like coming up here in the future? Do you have any new channels, anything going on, any new projects that you're working on?
No new channels. I'm so done with that. Any new channels. I there there is another channel where I'm just throwing up like random crap that like no one knows about or sees that I don't advertise or anything, and it's not gun related or anything. It's just like stupid little things that my friends and family kind of find funny sometimes.
Got you, got you. It's
But
one of those channels that we probably wouldn't understand, but your friends and family will. Got
yeah, well, it's yeah. It's basically just my quirky sense of humor a little bit. Of some of the thoughts I have that I throw out there because I get like really freaking random thoughts.
Speaking of quirky sense of humor, let me see something here. Hold on, hold on. I'm about to put you on blast, John.
Like, like for example, well, why are you doing that? For example, like I think, yeah, there you go. For example, like in the movie Signs, if I was the leader of the aliens, I would have just bought a bunch of raincoats.
Bought a bunch of raincoats.
Yeah.
So what happened in the movie? Would they get wet and they melt or something? Like a
Yeah.
wind?
Like, yeah, they fly across the galaxy, but they couldn't buy raincoats.
He said, Bacon said, so is Crumpy gonna bring back the John Crump Games channel?
Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to work on that for a while. Just been so busy with other stuff. But that will be coming back. That's fun.
What games you be playing?
Modern Warfare 2.
Okay. What system?
I play on a PC.
You know what? Crumpy? Y'all be cheating. Y'all PC players be cheating.
Hey man, well, the Xbox and like the PlayStations, that since you guys play with like a controller pad, you guys have a form of auto targeting to
No,
try to make it even. Yeah.
no. I ain't no
Yeah.
auto targeting. I got lock on myself.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, your hit range is bigger playing with a controller than it is playing with a mouse and keyboard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's actually a device where you can plug in to into your PlayStation or Xbox, that then you can plug in a mouse and keyboard, but it still reports it as a controller. So you get the finite movements of the mouse and keyboard, but you get the bigger hit area.
Interesting.
Yeah, but you'll get banned if they detect it.
Oh, is that pedal thing? That foot pedal thing they be talking about?
I'm not sure if the one I saw is not like a foot pedal. It is it's like a little box
Okay.
that
They
hooks
got
in.
some foot pedal thing. Nvidia, Nadia, something. Some girl, she's supposed to be like a pro streamer or whatever. She got caught using some kind of foot pedal thing and running aim bots and stuff. And then when they brought her to like a actual event where they had to play
Yeah,
the game
I
live,
saw.
and
Yeah, I
then
saw
she
that.
was getting her ass whooped, and they were like, "Oh, she sucks."
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. No, this is
Yeah.
just a box. It just gives you the advantage of the finite movements of a keyboard and mouse with the bigger hit area of controllers.
So, have you ever had the opportunity to shoot any of the guns in real life that you've played with on the game?
Oh, almost all of them. Almost all of them, man.
It amazes me. Like sometimes I find out because I used to think that a lot of the guns on Call of Duty were fake.
No,
Then
they're
when
all
I started
based
messing
on
with
real.
guns, I was like, wait a minute, that's a real gun.
Yeah, they're all based on real thing, like the AUGs. I run an AUG a lot.
Yeah, my camera guy loves AUGs. He's got an AUG and he's got it tricked out with all the old school AUG stuff. Like his carry handle on the AUG is actually the actual original optic for the AUG.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, man. He loves that. He loves that thing, man. I'm an AR guy. I like
Yeah.
AKs. They're cool, but I'm an AR guy, man.
Yeah, I have a bunch of ARs. I have the GOA AR, the M22 by Titman, the GOA model.
I didn't know
One of the
GOA
best.
had a gun.
Yeah, it's a Titman arm. It's a 22, but it's one of the best shooting 22 rifles period that I've shot.
Interesting.
Then I have my F1 Firearms AR-10,
Okay.
which is a very nice gun.
You need an Anubis in your closet in your gun
I do
safe.
need a Anubis.
Yeah, you need Anubis, man.
Now, why'd you decide to name it the Anubis?
Huh?
Why'd you decide to name it the Anubis?
Well, Anubis is the Egyptian god of the dead. He protects the dead as they transfer over, or the spirits as they go from life to death. So,
Okay, no, I was just wondering because a lot of because a lot of people, when I ask that question too, and they have a name like Anubis or something else like that, a lot of times it's oh, it just sounds cool.
yeah. I've seen a lot of people do that, but no, mine actually has a meaning. So, like when I named my company Or Armament, I knew it was going to be one of those names that people were going to mess up. So I get people all the time that are kind of like, yeah, we got your whatever ready for OWR armament. I'm like, it's or. And they're like, excuse me? They're like, it's a word. And they're like, oh. And so, like, if I fill out paperwork, I'll actually type it out, capital O, lowercase WR. So it'll be capital O, lowercase WR, then armament, And then when I get the paperwork back, they've changed it to all caps OWR. I'm like, no, man, it's a word. It means light, be of the sun, shine like the sun, whatever, give light.
Yeah, well, when I owned a gun store, it was called Veritas Firearms.
You owned a gun store?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You still own it?
No, I got rid of it when I started screwing with the ATF a little bit. But,
Oh, okay.
so I had a gun store called Veritas Firearms, and people would like Veritas Firearms, like it's Veritas. They're like, what? Like from Boondock Saints. I was like, no, not like from Boondock Saints. Veritas means truth. Then they'd be like, Veritas? No.
So somebody was hitting me up. He's hit me up a couple times. My man Kingdom Defense. I appreciate you, brother. He's like, somebody owes you some royalties because Smith & Wesson came out with that Anubis 1911.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's enough. It's enough money out here for all of us. We get it.
Yeah.
I'm petty sometimes, but not petty like that. It's cool. Even if I wanted to fight him, my bank account ain't as big as theirs.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
I'll tell you about that situation. That is something I do want you to come out to, and I'm going to invite you. But we'll talk offline about that. It ain't ready for prime time yet.
all right. Here's a question for you.
Uh-huh.
The Anubis originally it was chambered in 224 Valkyrie. What made you choose 224 Valkyrie?
Well, so I shot a 224 and I fell in love with it. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Because a friend of mine, he was wanting to build a rifle in a caliber that nobody around here had. And so I was like, what about that new 224 Valkyrie round that just came out? And he was like, that'd be dope. So he bought all the parts and I helped him put it all together. And so we were sitting there one day. I was like, you know what? I want to start a rifle line. I want to sell my own AR. And he's like, that'd be dope. And so I started coming up with names. And then I was like, well, what caliber? Let's do something that's going to shock the system. And I started looking at 224, and every gun I ever found in 224 was 16-inch, 18-inch, 20-inch, or longer. Mostly bolt guns. I was like, I don't know what they were doing a 12-inch barrel, but nobody made one. So I reached out to Excalibur and talked to the guy over there. He was like, hell with it. Yeah, we'll do it. So he built me a 12.5 barrel, and they made me a 10.5 barrel. And then 224 Valkyrie just kind of died off, and ammo's hard to get. And when you find it, it's expensive. And I was like, you know what? Let's stick with the basics. And so I revamped the whole thing and just went with 223 Wild.
Yeah,
Not
I,
Wild,
I
300 Blackout, 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, 8.6 Blackout.
yeah, I have a 224 Valkyrie that I've never even fired.
Oh, you never fired? Have you ever shot 224 at all?
No, I
Man,
own one.
it's a fun round to shoot. It is fun to shoot. The problem with it doesn't stabilize very well in flight, and so the I think the expectations people were looking for out of it, they weren't getting. So that's why it ended up kind of dying. And nobody really fools with it too much. But the guy that bought my 12.5 224 Valkyrie after I rebuilt it, he absolutely loves that gun. He shoots it almost every day. And he's doing like MOA groups at 200 yards, 300 yards with it out of a 12.5 barrel. And
Nice,
he loves that gun, man. He
nice.
absolutely loves it. So, I mean, somebody's getting some pleasure out of it. The 10.5, it very rarely ever gets shot. It hardly ever gets shot.
Yeah, I used to collect weird or off calibers. Wouldn't say like wildcat calibers because they're not really wildcat, but like 458 SOCOM,
Right.
um, Grendels.
And see, that's me, man. I like the weird calibers, but once I get into it and then I start trying to get ammo for it, I'm like, you know what? The hell with this gun. It's too much headache. And I end up selling them. I think the wildest caliber I have in my collection right now is gonna be the 8.6, the 8.6 Blackout. But the ammo's getting plentiful. It's pretty easy to get ammo for it. It's a great gun to shoot. It's good for hunting. It's good for I wouldn't want to really plank with it right now until the ammo prices come down because the
What
ammo.
was that?
But yeah, it's pretty nice, man. It's pretty nice. I love that. I love that round. I put the recoil system that I put in the Anubis in the AR-10s that I'm building, and so it actually works pretty much the same. Even in that platform, it still runs about the same. Subsonic 8.6 Blackout is a really soft shooter. It feels almost like you're shooting a 22, even though you're shooting a 300 grain 338 projectile. It's actually a soft shooter. Now, when you get the supers are a little bit spicy, but the subs are like super, super soft shooters.
Yeah, I was looking into your Anubis rifle a little bit, and I noticed that you have a hyperfire trigger in there.
Yeah, the Hyperfire EDT heavy gunner.
Yeah, those are nice triggers.
Yeah, they're really nice triggers, man. Now the AR-10s are gonna have I think it's called the PDI trigger, I think's the name of it. But it's a drop-in cassette style trigger. It's a weird looking trigger for one. It's got a flat shoe and it's got that extra pad that you can adjust on the trigger. You can adjust how high it is and your finger will fall in the same spot every time. But most cassette triggers, you just drop the cassette in there and it's a done deal. Well, that one, you know how your hammer spring has the two little feet that stick out. It still has that, even though it's a cassette style trigger. It's weird, but it's a great trigger, man. It's like a 2-pound trigger, and that's coming. That'll be in the 8.6, the 308, and the 6.5 Creedmoor. All three of them will have that trigger on.
Nice. 6.5 Creedmoor is a round that I really like a lot.
I've never shot it.
Oh,
I've
really?
never shot it. Yeah. So I'm building out the test demo gun now. Actually, the barrels got delivered today, actually. And so I'm gonna try and put at least 500 rounds through it before we go to Georgia.
Nice.
So when we go to Georgia for the meetup, for a regular meetup, I'll have the 8.6, the 223 Wild, 16-inch, the 223 Wild, 13.9, pin and welded. I have the 300 Blackout, the 308, and the 6.5.
Nice.
So I'll have the whole lineup when we get there.
That's nice.
Now,
You're really gonna like the 6.5.
yeah, and I was having a hard time deciding between 16, 18, or 20-inch barrels on the 308 and the 6.5, but I settled on 18-inch for both.
Yeah, that's probably it's right in the middle.
Yeah, that's like the sweet spot. So that's what I ended up doing on those.
Yeah, I think the 16 would have been too short.
Yeah. I think 18 is going to give you a little bit more. It's going to give you some longer range capability, and it's also still going to be a good size for hunting and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be a good sweet spot.
More practical.
Yeah. And I've never shot 458 SOCOM either. That's another one I want to check out.
458 SOCOM. It's a fun one. I got it in an AR pistol.
So have you seen any of Yoki Stur's videos?
No.
So she hog hunts sometimes with a 50 Beowulf pistol. It's like a 10.5 50 Beowulf pistol.
Okay.
And that thing slaps, man.
Dude, 458 SOCOM, that will slap too, man.
So the first meetup we had was in Houston. Jay the shooter was there. And Jay brought a full auto 50 Beowulf.
Yeah, I gotta shoot that, man. I gotta shoot his 50 AE full auto.
Yeah,
Wilkes, Mr. Wilkes. I don't know. Did you meet Mr. Wilkes?
Yeah, he's been on here before.
Oh yeah, dude. He's a mad scientist. Mad props to that guy, man.
Yeah.
I was like, why do you take this weird stuff and that that isn't supposed to be machine guns? Make it machine guns. He's like, because it's not supposed to be machine guns. Good answer.
So I was wanting to take. I've got a high point 10 mil, the pistol, and I was wanting to send that to Mr. Wilk and have him convert it to full auto, but I was like, nah, because it's made out of pot metal. It mess around and disintegrate.
Maybe. I'm sure he's thought of it though.
So you hang out with Jay and Mr. Wilk and them?
Not. I don't really hang out with too many people. I mean, I do see those guys. I see those guys around a lot. I really haven't been shot with them. Every time that they're doing something around here, something's going on. I have like a lot of daddy duties, I guess, like soccer coach, Cub Scout leader.
Yeah, I saw you in your Cub Scout uniform.
Yeah, yes, I do a lot of stuff like that. I'm so involved with my kids that on the weekends is like the only time I really get to hang out with them. So there's a lot of times I just want to hang out with them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but hang out with those guys. I do hang out with them so every now and then. More than most people. More than most people I hang out with. The Guns Out TV guys. See those guys a lot because they're out here.
Yeah, I haven't got to chop it up with them yet. I saw one of them was on Hank's show like a week ago or something like that.
Yeah, sure, Michael and John.
Yeah, we was with Black Rambo in South Carolina, and that's like the second time I got to hang out with him. He was at the second meetup here in Nashville, and he's a pretty laid back guy, man. He's not as wild off camera as he is on camera.
Yeah. Mr. Wilkes, Jay, and the Guns Out TV guys and we all go to the same range.
Okay. All right, so y'all are close. Y'all super close.
Yeah, like very, very close.
So I didn't realize the Guns Out TV guys was there. I thought they were somewhere else.
No, they're out here. We do a lot of stuff at a place called X-How,
Mm-hmm.
where I shoot, which is a very, very nice range. The Guns Out TV guys are having a range day in June out in Ashburn, where I'm from.
Okay. Yeah, that's when the meetup is.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what part of June it is?
it's the weekend before.
The weekend before?
Yeah.
Okay. Jay invited me to his was it pew party? Yeah, but I'll be in Memphis for a graduation, so I can't go.
Yeah, my wife is he invited me too, but my wife is going out of town for work.
So you're on daddy duty.
I'm a daddy, yeah, so I'm gonna have the kid.
That's what's up.
And
we need to try and get together and at some of these events and just hang out.
oh yeah, it was really cool hanging out with you with the last one.
Yeah. And we had fun, man. We were down there cracking jokes and hanging out. That was the first time I got to meet Rod Mills, man. Rod's a cool guy.
Yeah, Rod's a very cool guy. I know Rod pretty well.
Yeah, he's super laid back, man. It's funny when you meet people. So like when you see Hank on video, he don't look as tall as he actually is. And then you kind of surprise people because you were taller than we thought you were.
Yeah, he was like, I thought you were short. I'm like, I'm on the average height. He's like, what are you talking about?
And Flying Rich, he blew everybody's mind. We was all like, damn. I thought you was like 5'6" or something. This dude was like 6 feet.
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, I'm of average size.
When Jay the Shooter first walked up on us when we was in Houston, he walks up and he's like, "What's up, Big Dre?" And I turn around, I'm like, "Who the hell is this, Kevin Garnett?"
No, like, Jay's tall.
He's tall. He's super tall. But yeah, it's a lot of. It's when you see people in person like Guns and Gear. I told him when we was in South Carolina at the event. He walked up. I was like, "What's up, Guns and Gear?" He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" We was chopping it up. I was like, "I thought you'd be bigger." And he was like, "I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean." I said, "I like you look taller on TV. You look a lot bigger." He's tiny. I was surprised at how little he was.
Oh, did you say Guns and Gear or Guns and Gadgets earlier? I knew Guns and Gadgets from a cop friend of his.
No. You talking about Guns and Gadgets earlier. I'm talking about Guns and Gear. I saw him he was at the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Guns and Gear. He came up and said hi. I haven't seen him since the IV-88 shoot a couple years ago.
Scott said,
first one about the COVID.
Favorite Florida man.
Rich. Yeah, Rich was a character.
Yeah, he was talking about flying planes. I'm like, no, I don't want you flying no planes if I'm riding on it. Yeah, good on that, buddy.
Yeah, he's hanging out with Matt Hoover tonight.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So,
because Matt's in Florida already, getting ready for his trial on Monday.
Yeah, I hope Matt, I hope everything work out for him.
And so do I.
I hope everything work out for him. Like I say, he seems like a real good kid, man, and it's kind of jacked up what he's going through right now. Now, the one guy I don't like, and I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I don't really care for that guy. I feel like some of this stuff be kind of, I don't know. He just don't rub me right. What's that? The little attorney guy. What's his name? Armed Scholar.
The Armed Scholar.
Yeah, I don't really care for that guy.
Don't really know him.
I don't really care for that guy.
What did he do to you?
He didn't do nothing to me. I listen when I watch his channel, the way he be talking and moving his head, it kind of annoys me. And he just got this straight monotone. He kind of reminds me of the Clear Eyes guy and a bobblehead had a baby. That's what
Wow.
And then when he be talking about stuff like he did a story on Tennessee one time, about a law that had passed here, and he was breaking it down. Tennessee's following the footsteps of Texas, and circumventing the ATF and this and that. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, that's not what that law did. And so I left him a comment. He would never respond to it, but I'm like, that is not what that law did. So Tennessee had a list of guns that weren't allowed for you to own in the state. It's just a list that's been there for years. But it really didn't mean anything because some of the guns on there, you can still own them as long as you follow the federal law. So it's kind of like, you know how those states will have weird laws like you can't walk on the sidewalk with high heels on and shit like that?
Yeah.
It's just a weird little law like that. So they went through and they took SBRs, SBSs off of that list of guns, of prohibited guns. They never said that it went around any regulations or anything. They just literally just took them off the list. That's all they did. And he blew that up into this thing. And so 50 million people came in our shop and were calling our shop asking about this new law that just passed. I'm like, oh, I can have my SBR without having to have a tax stamp. I'm like, no, dude.
Yeah, you need to it removed the state prohibition of it. It didn't actually say that it was getting rid of the federal prohibition, or Tennessee wasn't going to.
Yeah, and that too, Scott. That right there. His clickbait titles piss me off so bad because they're so damn good.
That's true. I want to do clickbait titles. I mean, I've been tempted to use clickbait titles, but I just won't do
it. But he'll use the same one for like 5 videos, and you fall for it every damn time. So I don't even look at it no more. I'm like, bro, whatever. You're gonna feed me some BS. I usually wait for Jared. If I hear from you, Jared, or Guns and Gear, or Legally Owned America, that's my guy right there. Paul's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Then I'll take that and run with it, because I know a lot of times they get their information from you, or they'll get it from some of y'all's friends that y'all have. I met Legally Owned America last year at the gathering, and we chopped it up on Instagram and stuff. And this year we chopped it up a little bit more, and he gave me a copy of his book and signed it for me. Have you read his book?
No, he was supposed to give me a copy of it, but he gave them all away.
Oh, my bad. I got one. You can't have mine though.
No, I get it. Paul's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy, man. His book kind of hit home for me because it was weird. You know, he gave me the book that Saturday. I come home Sunday, and I wake up Monday morning to the shooting. Then I happened to take the book to work with me Tuesday in case I got bored because the shop was kind of slow. I was going to read a little bit. So I read about 20 pages of it. And I was sitting there and I was like, I'll be damned. This book literally is talking about the mindset of an individual that commits mass shootings. And it was like God put it it's like God put it in the air. It was like, hey, here you go. I'm gonna put this right here for you. You know, it's one of those, I'm gonna put this right here. I was like, that was right on time, man. And I appreciated him for that, man. It's a great book. So if you get a chance, man, get your hands on it, definitely check it out and give it a read.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question. What's the deal with the Brazilian flag?
I get that question a lot. So one of my supporters, his name is Sidney Lima. He's from Brazil. And he reached out to me. He's like, hey, can I send you a present? I'm like, yeah. So it was some little figurines. I've got them somewhere in my office. I think they might still be packed up because I still haven't finished unpacking everything in here. But he gave me these little wooden hand carved figurines that's supposed to help ward off evil spirits and energy. He gave me that flag, a T-shirt, and some ribbons that had like some Brazilian 2A type stuff on. And so I appreciated him for sending it to me. And I told him I was going to put it up in the office or in my studio where it can always be seen. And so I leave it where you could always see it. And because of that flag, in my analytics, if you go to my analytics, my biggest supporters are in Brazil.
Dude, I have a lot of readers and also watchers from Brazil. Since I went after Taurus for the anti-gun stuff in Brazil,
yeah,
I think that kind of endeared me to like the Brazilian gun community down there.
man, their gun laws have gotten crazy over there. It's like Sydney tells me some of the stuff that happens. Like he had found there were some kids that were trying to rob somebody or something outside of his house, and somebody spooked him. And the kid threw his gun down and they just ran off. And so he went and picked it up. He sends me a picture of it. And he was like, "You see my new toy?" And he told me how he got it. So apparently in Brazil, if somebody loses a gun and you find it, it's yours. You get to keep it. It's like finders keepers, losers weepers.
Yeah, now their gun laws are just going crazy over there. Ask them about it. I mean, they're just so very anti-gun. And
we got a new president.
Yeah, and the dude from Taurus, the president of Taurus, is like linked up with this guy, and he's helping pass a lot of these gun laws.
Hold up, wait a minute. The guy from Taurus is helping the guy pass anti-gun laws?
Yeah. Well, he's like kind of trading them off for like, well, okay, well, we're gonna ban the import of all these firearms if Taurus has a firearm that is similar to it, yeah, and the same caliber, or then it's just a lot of like really anti-gun laws, like proposing that Taurus that not Taurus that Brazil makes their own version of the ETF, and the limiting of like one handgun or one gun per household.
So what was the deal a while? Was it about a year ago when they were talking about Brazil's new gun laws? They had all these gun laws coming in that were pro-gun.
Yeah, that was the old president.
Okay, so that guy got voted out, and this new guy is the complete. So we.
Yeah, he was actually a leftist and does a lot of research on the president of Taurus, and Taurus tried to like blow smoke up my ass, and they basically like, oh yeah, but you know, our proposals are supported by this one gun group. These other gun groups don't support it, but this other gun group in Brazil, they do support it. Like, but the other gun group in Brazil is founded by Taurus. Yeah, if you look up the president of Taurus, and he was actually like the president of the Communist Party back in 1980.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I guess they didn't think I was going to get all that information.
But they didn't know who they were messing with.
Yeah.
So did you talk to them when you was at the gathering? Because you know they were there.
Yeah, no, I didn't talk to them there. I mean, it's not really Taurus USA's.
It's just like the parent company.
Yeah, it's like Taurus. It's like the parent company from Brazil.
Yeah, when we were there, I asked my camera guy because we had already went to the Taurus booth under the vendor village. So when we was on the range, we were walking through. I said, "Do we really want to go to Taurus?" And he's like, "No, not really." He just cut the camera off. We kept walking. I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, I'll send you this. I'll throw this over here in the private chat. The link to. No, that's not the link to the article on AmmoLand about all of it. The communist stuff I found out after but I did make a follow-up video about that.
Oh yeah, it's on AmmoLand. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop that link so people can go check it out if they want to.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, well,
yeah, I'm gonna drop that link. So if y'all want to go check it out, I put that link in the chat. And
it's why I would never ever buy a gun from Taurus. Seriously.
Man, I can't lie. I've owned a couple of Tauruses. I've had a G2C, and I've had the PT111 Millennium Pro back in the day, and I've had a GX4. And the only one I had any problems out of was the PT111. And what it was back then, Taurus used to ship their guns with grease packed off inside of the striker channel during shipping. And I guess nobody knew it. And so I was at the range. I had put like 200 rounds through the gun, and it started getting real like primer strikes. And then it got to where it wasn't even striking the primer at all. So I called them and told them what it was. They're like, "Oh, it sounds like you got a bad striker. So we'll send you a new one." So they sent me like 5 of them. So I get them and I take the gun apart. I'm watching YouTube trying to figure out how to take this gun apart because I was fairly new to that at that time. And so we take it apart, and the striker was real like slimy trying to get it out, and it was full of packing grease. I cleaned it and it ran fine after that. So I had like 5 extra strikers just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, I've owned Tauruses, and you know, like a lot of the Taurus revolvers I actually really liked. It's just not what I'm for.
Right. Brazilian Dad, I greatly appreciate you, brother. Salute you. Greatly appreciate you. Much respect.
Yeah, it's just something that I'm just not for because of what they did.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And that's kind of why I don't mess with Springfield guns. The only Springfield gun I'll mess with is the Hellcat Pro.
Yeah, I mean, I won't mess with Springfield guns either.
Yeah, because Springfield did some. A lot of people don't realize they did some pretty anti-gun type donations back in the day. And
Yeah,
I don't get down like that.
yeah, and here's something. This is if anybody wants proof that he was like the president of the Communist Party, I'll throw that out there too. For you, just so no one thinks that I'm making crap up, because it sounds kind of crazy that the president of Taurus used to be the president of the Communist Party in Brazil. But there you go. Yeah, that's actually from the. If you look up, that's an old press release from the Communist Party from back in the day.
I like Taurus guns only because Smith and Vista are also cringe. Smith and Vista? You mean Smith and Wesson? I think you mean Smith and Wesson, brother. Let me see something. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Hold
on. Yeah. So.
Really, Crumpy?
What's
I
up?
can't read that.
No, you gotta translate it. That's you have to translate it, but if you translate it, trust me.
Man, hold on. I'm gonna show y'all what he sent, man. I can't even do nothing with that.
You have to translate it, trust me.
Oh man, that's great. It's right here. Let me see.
Doesn't like Chrome have like an automatic translation feature or whatever?
Vista Outdoors. Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I can't read that.
Yeah, he was the first president of this is something that's not Taurus related, but it's talking about like the history of their party, and it talks about their first president, and it's it's like the
Jose
president of
Francisco
Taurus.
Zimmerman.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically it's like their about page, and
Got you. Interesting.
yeah,
I
it's
never
like
would have thought that. Yeah, I
yeah.
never would
I just think it's funny that look how many ads they have on their Communist Party page. The amount of Google ads.
Yeah, that and it's all Vistaprint, and it's funny because those ads that it's showing, I actually just ordered a tablecloth for our table at the meetup in June.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that's
ordered it
because
from
well, that's the reason why it's showing those ads. The ads is
Vistaprint. Oh, okay, I see you could
like
translate.
mine's showing like the Washington Center for Performing Arts.
Yeah, first
Now
for
if I refresh, it's gonna show me a bed of nails. Okay, I have no idea why it wants me to buy a bed of nails, but all right, Saks Fifth Avenue. All right, well, I guess whatever.
But yeah, that's pretty interesting that you got a communist running tours, and he's helping
Well,
bring
I'm not
down.
sure if he's still a communist. He was back in the day.
Once a commie, always a commie.
That's what I said. Better red than dead. Or
Hey,
better dead than red. That's what I meant to say.
yeah, man. Just because you take off your sheet and put it in the closet, don't mean you're not still part of the clan.
That is true. That is true. And I think a lot of people have done that.
The revolution will not be televised, airing on NBC. Is that something that's on right now, or you just making a statement there, buddy? I didn't realize Smith was under Vista Outdoors at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah. This outdoor zones.
A lot of stuff. They own a lot of stuff, man. They
So
bought
like,
a big chunk of that Remington stuff, didn't they?
yeah, I love them and like
PSA.
PSA, yeah.
Yeah, PSA's what is it, JGE?
Yeah.
Yeah. Them guys, man, they buy all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah, they own a lot of different brands.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't realize how much they actually own. So like when people come in the shop and they're like, man, I ain't never heard of this AAC ammunition that Palmetto State Army's been selling on their website. I was like, it's theirs.
Yeah.
So what do you think about KG Made moving away from the commercial side of manufacturing suppressors?
I mean, I wish they would stick with the commercial side. I know a lot of people are trying to. Okay, well, you got to look at the reasons why people move away from the commercial side or only do military contracting, and some of it is anti-gun, but not all. It's not all anti-gun all the time. Honestly, the military side of making stuff and the police side and whatever, that is a huge market with greater markups.
Right.
So a lot of these companies look at it as they don't look at it as like an anti-Second Amendment move. They look at it as a business move.
Right.
They have a contract that they can get and make all this money, but they don't have enough resources to do both. So they're gonna go and if you can do both, that's good. And maybe some of these companies that move away, some of them do return to the civilian market once they were able to spin up enough resources to be able to go get back into the commercial side of things. But sometimes, like if the deal's there and they have it's like, well, you know, can we expand fast enough to be able to keep the commercial side up
Right.
without losing the military side or the police side? And sometimes the answer is no. That
I
they
mean,
can't.
I took full advantage because I literally had just got my SOT the week that my business partner, he comes to me, he's like, "Hey, you know something about a suppressor company going out of business or something?" I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "Hold on." He's like, "Let me see if I can get the list of what they're getting rid of." So he sends me this screenshot and of the spreadsheet, and I'm like, "The hell!" It was thousands of cans for
Yeah, and it
dirt
was like
cheap, bro.
50% off too. So you just
Huh?
have to follow up. Yeah, I passed that on to people, and a lot of people got a lot of great deals on stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I was getting $1,200 cans for $400.
Yeah, but in their case, they they're not leaving for like anti 2A reasons, or it's just that the size of the contract that they have, they would miss out on
Yeah,
if they didn't
yeah.
like concentrate all their machinery and everything on producing for that contract.
You know what? I called my connect over there, and I asked him. I was like, "Why are y'all? What's going on with this sale? What are y'all doing?" And he's like, "Well, they're getting rid of the commercial side to focus on military and OEM manufacturing."
Yeah,
Because I
and
didn't realize
also
they made so many different manufacturers. Man, that goes back to that whole everybody. There's only a certain amount of companies that makes stuff in the
yeah,
firearm industry. They make a lot of cans for a lot of people.
yeah, and that's another thing. It's not like they're leaving the commercial market; they're just leaving the direct sales
Yeah,
to the commercial side to be able to produce suppressors. And you probably know some of the companies that they produce for,
Daniel.
Daniel. Yeah. So so it's not like they're actually leaving the market. It's just that these contracts are more, and they're still selling the commercial side, just not directly to the commercial side because they selling a can here or a can there is one thing, but if they can sell like 5,000 at a time to Daniel Defense, or like 20,000 to Dead Air, they're gonna sell it to those companies.
Yeah, yeah. Because from what Dead Air doesn't actually make any of their cans. From what I'm saying, it looks like
No.
KG Made makes some, and then some other company out of Florida makes some.
Yeah.
So and a lot of people don't realize that that's how the firearm industry works.
Well, there's
Like,
only like 6 companies that make actual like like blanks for AR-15s
right?
with the castings.
Yeah. So and a lot of people don't realize
Or
that.
7. I think it's 6 or 7 that makes the castings.
Yeah, I think it's 7. And then so when people come to me, they're like, "So you actually manufacture your own receivers?" I'm like, "No, I have a federal variance through the ATF that allows this company to make them on my behalf because I don't have CNC machines sitting in my office right here."
Yeah,
But
but that's the majority of companies out there.
right, right. Because I know there's a certain company, I ain't gonna say no name, but the guy that owns the store I work for, he owned a rifle company as well, and he manufactured rifles for a well-named company. I'm not going to name, and he manufactured their rifles from top to bottom.
Yeah, if you look at the like the roll marks, or you'll notice like there's like a little keyhole,
Yep,
or there's
that's what
certain
mine
other
got.
ones. But
Yep.
those are that's the actual marking of the company that actually made it.
Yeah, they actually make the forging.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's my guns fit together really, really tight because the upper and the lower were forged by the same company.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then the finishing work on each were done at the same company. So they fit together really, really tight. Sometimes it's kind of aggravating how tight they fit together.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you coming through, Crumpy. You are welcome anytime, man. If you're ever in the chat or you just sitting around, you ain't got nothing to do, and you see us on, you're welcome to jump in anytime.
Yeah, well, dude, I definitely will, man.
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you coming through. I have fun, and I'm sure we're gonna be seeing each other again at some more events. I'm actually setting up as a vendor next year for the gathering.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll be setting up as a vendor. So maybe I'll bring you out as a guest. You can come hang out with us or something. Yeah.
That might be something. Rich will get mad because every time I do an event, I always tell Rich this is the last one I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm only
whatever.
doing local events, and then I go to the next one. He's like, yeah, I'll see you at the next one. I was like, no, I'm not doing the next one. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll see you at the next one.
It's kind of hard to stop, man. It's like you think about the travel and stuff. It's like it's a lot of work, but at the same time, it's fun.
It is fun, but I mean, when I was in my previous life before I got married or anything, I traveled the world for work.
Right.
So
Oh,
now, I mean, I would get a call. Last story, like I got it. For example, I was working at a place, and they said, "Hey, what are you doing next week?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." They're like, "We need you to go to the Philippines and live in the Philippines for about a year." So, all right. So, like 3 days later, we want to fly to the Philippines for a year.
oh yeah, you can't do that. Yeah,
I
wife
can't
is
do that
not going.
anymore, but I did all that, or like I they came up and I got back from the Philippines, and I was back. I had to go get a visa. It was a whole scramble process, but I got back, and
Good for you. Appreciate you, brother.
I landed that Sunday, and I went into work the next day. They're like, you want to live in New York for a while? It's like, how long is a while? Like, a couple of years. I was like, all right. They're like, can you leave tomorrow? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you still hadn't unpacked yet, so.
No, I did. I did unpack. I just like whatever, just grab my stuff. I gave up my apartment. You know, right. I had like I was like staying at my mom's because I just got back in the country. I was gonna go out that week and try to find an apartment. Then I'm like, guess I don't need to go find an apartment. And I
Oh
lived in Manhattan for a couple of years. So I've done a lot of traveling. I mean, I've been to all sorts of countries and all sorts of different places, cities. I mean, I've been everywhere.
gotcha. I've been been to several places within the United States. I've never left the connected 48.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've been. Hawaii's nice. No, but I mean, I've done a lot of different things. I've done diving in Cozumel. So you lived in Southeast Asia. You know, uh, explored. Took a train across Europe to Eastern Europe from Europe. You know, done a lot of really cool stuff. Spent time in Prague,
So you have been around the world. You've been
uh,
all over the place.
Austria, Italy, Greece, Turkey.
Oh yeah, you've been all over the place.
Yeah, Germany. I don't know, where else have I been? I don't know. I've been a lot.
Like I
Oh,
said,
Croatia. Croatia is cool.
I've never left these 48, and I was going to.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to. We were supposed to go to on a cruise that was supposed to go to Jerusalem, Italy. What was going to Jerusalem, Rome, Greece, some other part of
Oh,
Italy.
Greece. I've been to Greece. Yeah, Greece. Yeah, I've actually,
Have
like, I've been in Greece. I was in Greece for a while.
you ever been to Nashville?
Nashville.
Yeah.
I've not been to Nashville.
Yeah. All right. So,
I know it's kind of ridiculous.
so the closest I've ever been to Greece in Nashville, we have a park called Centennial Park, and there is a actual life-size replica of the Greek Parthenon.
Yeah, I climbed the Greek Parthenon.
Well, we got a fake one, and that's the closest I've been to Greece.
Yeah, I climbed. Did the whole thing up the Parthenon. Parthenon is pretty cool. Um, you know, I'm a Catholic, so been to mass, and like Catholics believe that the Virgin Mary, the Blessed Mother, uh, ascended in Turkey, in there. It was like the house where she was supposed to lived in.
Mhm.
And so I've attended mass in that house.
Oh wow. Okay.
In Pompeii. I'm gonna be in Europe for proper a little bit this summer. This summer I'll be in Europe a lot
So
in July.
I
In
got a
July.
question. You're Catholic.
Yeah.
You think I'm evil, John?
No.
Pretty nice guy, huh?
Why would I think you're evil?
Because I'm a Mason, and for some reason, y'all don't like us.
No. I mean, they're Catholic Masons.
Every Mason I know that's of Catholic faith says they have to keep it kind of hush hush because they could be excommunicated from the church.
I don't know. There's a lot of different, it's crazy stuff. For example, there's a guy in New York, and he would always text me all this stuff. He wanted to work with GOA, and GOA is open to everyone, right? And he
Right.
wanted to be a plaintiff. And I looked into him, and the dude was just like, he was, he didn't, he's like, I don't believe in interracial marriage. I don't, and also thought Catholics were Satanists for some reason. So I mean, I didn't know. He didn't know I was Catholic, but we told him, "Dude, we're not working with you because you're a racist."
Wow. So
But then he kept on sending me all these like messages all the time, trying to be my friend. And I said, yeah, it's like, yeah, just to let you know, I have no problem talking to you, but and I'm so glad we can talk. And I guess he didn't know, and did research into him. Even though that you're a Christian, and you're a Baptist or whatever, and I'm a Catholic. It's good that we can be good friends. He goes, God bless you. I hope you have a great life. And that was
look, look what Scott said.
it.
Man, I've known a lot of Catholics, and I know a lot right now, and they're pretty normal. They all kind of think like I do.
My kids go to Catholic school.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I live. My kids are going to Loudoun County, And not they don't go to Loudoun County schools, but there would be in Loudoun County. And I don't know if you Google Loudoun County schools, you'll see why my kids don't go to Loudoun County schools.
It was funny because we was having a conversation at work one day, and the owner of our shop, his business partner is Catholic, and they were talking about religion. And so the business partner, the Catholic one, he's like, y'all Christians, y'all should thank us. And we're like, thank you for what? He's like, that book that y'all read and study called the Bible? I was like, wow.
Well, Catholics are Christians too.
So y'all are both?
Yeah, Catholics are a sect of Christianity. You have the Protestant Catholic. I mean, with like before Martin Luther broke, like all Christians were Catholics. I mean, that was it. Then the Protestants came up after Martin Luther broke away.
Okay. What is this? Well, it's only natural the crusade established a constant boogaloo. Yes. I think a lot of it stems from, they talk about, was it King Philip that owed the Knight Templars money and then he didn't want to pay it. So he sent his army out to find and hunt down all the Templars and kill them. And I think it all stems from that.
Yeah, you're probably right. The Knights Templars, a lot of people don't realize they were the biggest bankers in Europe. They were the original OGs of banking.
Yeah, they started the first international banking system.
Yeah, you could like borrow money and you can like go deposit money with them and then pick it up in another part of the country or the world.
Yep. The first international banking system right there, buddy. But
the Templars were Catholic. The Templars were Catholics, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were there to protect the church. So, and then they got turned into outlaws.
Yeah. They were all money related.
Yeah. Money is the root of it's the greed of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah. Well, I think the Templars, they accumulated a lot of power because they held the purse strings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's typically how it goes. You get the money, you get the power.
Yeah. The use of banking. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, I know a little bit about Templars. I have that. That's one of my degrees.
Masons. Yeah, I was gonna become a Mason like a long time ago. I just never did.
You just never did. It's fun, man. It's fun. Sometimes it can be a pain in the ass. People think that we sit around and try and figure out how we're going to take over the world, but we really try to figure out what we're going to eat after the meeting and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's the George Washington Masonic Temple is near me.
Okay. The one that's got the big square and compass out front.
Yeah. It's like massive. It's like Alexandria.
Yeah. I've been wanting to go check that out. I've been wanting to go check out the Scottish Rite in Washington D.C. as well.
If you do that, man, let me know.
Yeah, I've got family that lives in Maryland.
Where in Maryland?
I'm not sure exactly where they live at in Maryland. She moved up there when she graduated out of college with her doctorate. Her and her husband. He works for Department of Homeland Defense, and she works. She's on some kind of civilian contract, military contract, whatever. She worked for the Obamacare program when it first started up, when she first got out of college. And then when that ended, then she went to work for the FDA. And then from there, she ended up with this civilian military contract.
That's cool.
Yeah, so she travels all around the country and stuff. But I don't think she doesn't travel as much anymore. They just had a baby, so She's like a year old, so they don't really travel like they. Well, she doesn't really travel like they used to. It's hard for him to get out of the house because if he wants to leave, then he has to like put in for way, way in advance and get permission to leave.
Yeah, yeah, like my wife's clearance and my clearance. I have to. I got a day job, but I have to put in to let them know where I'll be at.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what he has to do, and they can work, remotely or whatever. I don't know exactly what he does with Homeland, but whatever it is, he can work. He can work remotely, and I know his badge. He uses his badge to the fullest of his abilities and takes advantage of it. It's like when they go places and they got a long, long line. He just walks up to the front and shows his badge, and they just let him in. And he's like, "I see y'all when y'all get in there."
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. All
like I
right,
said,
man.
you
Oh,
want
it's been a lot of fun.
they can have PTR 7.6239 because the government didn't know it was real. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is true though.
That's awesome. They didn't know it was real, really?
No, not in 762 by 39.
Interesting.
So they can't have it in other calibers, but in 762 by 39 they can have it.
Interesting.
Because I guess they, I don't know. I don't understand how that even happened, but it was just like, whoops, you forgot our caliber.
Interesting. All right, man. Well, man, go ahead. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I greatly appreciate you for coming on, man. I've been wanting to have you on here for a long time, man. I was like, one day I'll meet this guy. And then I turn around and you're sitting at the picnic table. I'm like, ain't this something?
Yeah, that was yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, but the PTRs, I think what happened with just let me explain what happened to PTRs. When they listed the PTRs, they listed it like PTR like whatever, PTR this, PTR that. But they didn't actually, they're like PTR 9, PTR whatever.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
5.56 to 9 mil and all that. And then they forgot about that one.
Oh, or they had no idea what they were talking about and thought that the calibers were part of the name. I don't know.
Interesting. Interesting. There's only 8 people in here right now, 9 people. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that Glock I got on the way is that new Glock 28.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. It shipped out today.
Nice.
Yeah. Good old Lipsies, man. They come through all the time.
Nice. The
Yeah.
Glock 28.
Yeah.
Dude,
I never even heard of it. I didn't even know it was a thing. I knew about the 25.
it's a little boy, man.
Actually, it's a Glock 26 chambered in 380. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's a little boy. A little
Yeah.
subcompact.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a Glock 26 chambered in 380.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Basically, that's all it is. It's like the little. So that's why I thought.
but it was weird to me that the 26 was okay to come into the country, but the 380, the 28 wasn't. I was like, they're the same gun.
Yeah, there's point systems.
But what points can the 28 not have that the 26 had? They're the same gun.
Ammo.
What?
Ammo.
Ammo? Because it's
Ammo.
a 380? That was
Yeah.
a point off?
Yeah.
So what, you got to be a 9mm or higher to get imported into the country or something?
And the 380s are viewed differently than 9mm.
Oh, wait a minute. It's because of the FBI test.
Yeah.
When that gun came out, it couldn't pass the ballistics test.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole reason because it's chambered in 380.
That's stupid. I want that 25.
Yep, Scott has it right.
Loaded weight. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, they figured out how to get it in here. So
Well, I think that it's made in the U.S., right?
yeah, they're making it in the Smyrna.
Yeah, that's the reason that they're not importing it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They figured out a way to do it.
Oh yeah, we're around it. You would never. They can't import it though.
No, I want them to do the 25. They can go ahead and just make the 25 down there too. I don't even like 380. I just want them because we can't have them. That's how my brain works. I want guns that you won't let me have. Let me figure out a way to get that gun. So that means I have to go and find somebody that had one that was law enforcement and buy from them. Or now they make it here, so I can get one. So now that's the only reason I wanted it.
Well,
just because it was a gun that we couldn't have. I will never carry it. I will only shoot it. I will make a video with it, and that'll probably be the only time I ever shoot it. And then it'll sit right there in that safe.
I'm the same things, dude. I have like I'll buy like a gun a week and sometimes more. But
I've been thinking about buying that Gen 1 Glock.
The Gen 1 Glock?
Yeah, you know they just re-released it.
Yeah. I would like an original Gen 1 Glock.
I've seen one of those.
So have I, but they're usually really pricey.
Now, I did have one of those at one time.
Yeah.
But it was still when it was kind of new. Yeah. I really wasn't supposed to have it, but I had it.
Yeah.
Now,
like I would have like an actual Gen 1 Glock and not just Gen 1 like Glock.
Yeah. We had one get transferred through the shop. I think that guy said he paid. I think he said he paid $1,800 for it.
Yeah, they're expensive.
But he had all the original everything, the original packaging, everything.
But that's what I would want, and the Tupperware and everything.
Yeah, it had the original Tupperware box and everything. It had the original instruction book and everything. It was all original.
I had a Gen 1 Glock, and I sold it. Somebody offered me a good price for it, and I took it, thinking I was going to be able to find another one for cheaper. And I've never found another one for cheaper.
So so at our store we have a range inside the store, and what we let some of the instructors in the area use the range for carry permit classes. So they brought a class in. It was about 3 months ago. They brought a class in, and there's this this black lady in the class, and she come out and she's like, "I need an extra magazine. Y'all have an extra magazine?" We're like, "Yeah." "What kind of gun you got?" She was like, "A Glock 19." We were like, "All right, cool, no problem. We got you." So we went over to the rental counter, grabbed a Glock 19 mag, gave it to her. She was like, "All right, thanks." She went back out on the range, and then the instructor comes out. And he's like, "Hey man, do y'all have a Glock 19 we can use?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "We just gave her a mag." He's like, "Well, something wrong with the mag. It won't work." Like, "What do you mean it won't work? It's a Glock 19 mag." So I was like, "Bring the gun here." He brings the gun in there. It was a Gen 2 Glock 19.
No, okay.
I was like, "Where the hell did she get this from?" Her uncle was a retired park ranger, and that was his service pistol.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, so that I was like, man, no wonder that mag wouldn't fit.
Yeah, you stuff like that happens. But yeah,
Glock,
Gen 1 Glock is what I want.
Yeah. I would like to have an original Gen 1. Like I said, I had one, but I was 17 at the time.
Oh yeah, I see where the problem can lie on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So And that was, I'll tell you how long ago that was. It had a laser on it. And it looked like a shell casing, and it was mounted with 3 rivets to the front of the trigger housing. And it had a wire that fed up through the frame and came out on the front of the grip. It was the pressure pad.
Oh wow.
That was in 92, 93.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was. I'm feeling old, man. I'm thinking about being in high school back in those days.
Now, you ain't that old. How old are you? Like 40, 42?
No, dude. No, dude. Guess. What you just did, guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 40, 42, something like that.
No, man.
How old are you?
48.
Dang, you older than me.
Yeah.
I'll be 48 in October. You ain't much older than me.
Yeah. I'm 48, man.
Damn, I didn't think you was that old.
Yeah.
Damn, Grandpa. This is me talking. I got 3 grandkids. What I'm talking about.
Yeah, I started late. I was traveling the world a little bit.
No, I got my one out the way early. I was 20. And after that, every female that I dated had to be fixed. I made sure that I was not having no more.
Nice. Yeah, dude. I just yeah, I mean, I got a late start. I was too busy seeing the world.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man. At least you got them in there though.
Yeah, I got to climb volcanoes. An active volcano too that has erupted a couple times since I climbed it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you doing too much, bro. I'll never climb a volcano. Cause see, I'm too fluffy to be trying to run, and be my luck, it'll erupt while I'm on it.
You're climbing up there, and the ground's actually smoking. You got little cracks in the ground. When like the soil gets dry, you have little cracks in the dirt.
Yeah.
Except you had smoke coming up from there.
Oh no, brother. No, man.
I'm up to the rim of the Caldera and looked down.
Oh no, sir. Not me. Nope. Not me. Nope. Be my luck. I look down and be the last time. Nope. Mm-mm. Yep. I'm when it comes to stuff like that, I'm a chicken.
Yeah, I posted it. I posted that some pictures like a while ago from that trip. Like I found them, and one of my friends who happens to be black wrote me and goes, "Yep, you're definitely my white friend." I had no idea. I responded back. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he had to explain the whole entire stereotype.
Yeah, the average black person is not for to climb a volcano.
Yeah, he had to explain the whole stereotype.
Down in it.
Because I was like, "What are you talking about?" Then he explained.
Yeah, there are certain things. That's like when I hear crimes that are committed, you can usually tell by the crime if they were black or white without ever seeing the suspect. 9 times out of 10, you can tell if they were black or white just by the crime.
So,
like most of the time when you hear mass shooting or school shooting, it's usually going to be a white kid.
That's true.
But if you hear somebody rob a liquor store in the hood, it's going to be a black kid. You know what I'm saying? Carjacking. Oh, they carjacked this guy for his Hellcat. Black kid. Drive through a Christmas parade. We're going to think that's a white kid until we saw the video of the black guy. DC Sniper, he tricked us too.
Yeah.
I was like, that was definitely a white guy. And then when they showed him, I was like, damn, it was 2 black dudes.
Dude, my friend, DC Sniper, a guy I worked with, like one of the places they shot someone was at Home Depot, and my friend was like actually there when that happened.
What happened?
Yeah,
Man, that was crazy. I
I
never
remember.
thought that there would be.
Every time they're like, "Oh, there's a shooting in Maryland," everyone would jump in their cars and try to go to the gas station really quick. Like, well, that was 45 minutes away. So if I get it if I get to the gas station now, I mean, people were actually doing that. Doing the math about how long it would take to drive from there to there. Well,
yeah, that right there, that threw us all off, man. We was like, what? Wait. But hey, stuff happens. But typically on a normal day, you can generally tell who committed that crime. And if you look at the timelines, like I look at my white friends on Instagram, my black friends, like the vacations be completely different. All my white friends, they'll be like skydiving or something, or bungee jumping or something, and all the black folks is at like barbecue at their auntie house, or we had a club somewhere in another city. The same thing we were doing here, just somewhere else. We don't get that adventurous, man. There's not too many of us that adventure out and stuff like that. Like you see black folks at the pool party, you notice we're always dry.
well, I mean, I never know about the stereotype until my friend was like, "Yep, you are definitely my wife." I was like, "What do you mean?" On the volcano.
Yeah, man.
Like you climbed the volcano and then you went out in the Everglades to look for alligators before too. I said, "Yeah."
Now that I would do. I actually was talking to Yogi about that a couple weeks ago. Like, man, I want to go alligator hunting.
But no, I didn't go hunting alligators. I wanted to go capture an alligator.
No, I want to shoot that son of a bitch. Right in the top of his noodle. I want to get my Troy Landry on.
Shoot it.
Yeah. I want to go hunt. I've actually wanted to go do that. So I got to go hog hunting this year. I got to go coyote hunting this year. And I would love to get a gator hunt in there if I could. That would be awesome.
Do it.
I might have to call Paul for that one.
Yeah, Paul will hook you up.
Yeah, because he's down there in the swamps.
Yeah, he is.
I have to call him for that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that happen because he actually goes gator hunting. He actually showed me some pictures.
Yeah, he does. We actually talked about gator hunting.
Yeah. Hey, why don't we just make it a trip? You meet me down there, we just go do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I ain't scared.
I'm not scared either.
Don't lick a lizard, Crump.
No, I want to wrestle an alligator. Like jump on him like Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah, I want to see that. I'm gonna make sure I got my camera for that.
I'll do it.
You'll wrestle one?
Yeah, Dad, jump on him and hold it. Try to capture one.
Man, now I've seen that go wrong now.
So have I. That's what makes it fun.
Nah, no, I'm good, bro. I just want to shoot him.
Well, if it goes wrong, you can shoot him.
Yeah. You try that, and while he's doing a death roll on your arm, I'll shoot him.
All right, that works for me. All right, man. Well, like I said, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, you're welcome anytime, man. I appreciate.
Yeah, I gotta get you on mine.
Huh?
Get Rich to reach out to get you on mine.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, just hit me up. I'm glad to come on. Just let me know when. I'm there.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. All right.
All right, man. You be good, man. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. All y'all new people, Scott, Bacon, all y'all. Appreciate y'all. All my regulars, Shanna, Bangers, everybody that came through tonight. Love y'all. Salute y'all. Be safe and stay dangerous.